Yes, people, and welcome back to Normski TV and the Matrix Convo, the Matrix Conversations. Listen, if you're new, please hit that like button and subscribe. You know what I mean? And listen, put your comments in after this short video. We are gonna delve into more conversations that are out there. You know, the agents, the sentinels, you know how it goes, people. Need I not say anymore? We need to kind of tap in and find out what a lot of these top fans are thinking and how they view Mikel Arteta in terms of how he has taken this club from the mire to challenging. And some people might think, yeah, it's an achievement. But for me, what's the end goal? That's the question. What is the end goal of all of this? For me, it's about lifting a trophy. It's not about the journey. It's about getting to the destination and lifting a trophy. We haven't done it now in the last 3 years, where we, in the last 2 years, have challenged and have come up with nothing. We've bottled the 2022-23 season. We bottled it. 8-point lead. We throw it away. Man City behind us. We lose to teams that we shouldn't be losing against. But, you know, fans have got this narrative that, yeah, we've beaten all the top 6 sides. We haven't lost to this side in how many days, this side in how many days, and whatnot. But what has it given us? That's the question we need to ask ourselves. What has this given us? Yeah, beating Real Madrid. So it's going to be a quarter-final cup that we get for beating Real Madrid. Yeah, no. We needed to get to that final, and we didn't get there. And listen, it's the man that's at the steering wheel, because he does like a journey. He does like to take detours every now and again. So yes, this guy is on a journey. Yeah, this guy is on a journey, and I don't think he will ever get there. You know what I mean? And his passengers, his players, they're dropping off like flies, because this man has run them into the ground. Yeah. Now we're hearing that Timber has to have surgery on his ankle. What is going on? But yet he's gonna come back after his break, after dipping his feet in the LC, standing in the sand and just relaxing. He's gonna go back and go hard. Yeah, go hard on these guys. Man's falling down with hamstring injuries. You've got Saliba now with hamstring problems, you name it. But look, the crux of it is this, guys. Yeah, fans seem to think that, you know, it's just about competing. And listen, if it happens, it happens. You know, give him the money that he needs and he will go again. We've heard this story time and time and time again. As Patrice Evra said, it's like Netflix FC. See, when you get into the world of Mikel Arteta, it does become like the Matrix, man. And you know how it goes. You've seen me on streams, you know, taking the red pill. Reality. What's the reality? What is the real reality? The real reality is that we cannot get over the line. But you've got some mans that like to take the blue pill. Yeah. And when these guys take the blue pill, yeah, they're in Arteta's world. And anything that this guy says literally bamboozles them. Yeah, we're hearing things like cults. You know what I mean? This is what it is, people. And whilst I was scouring around, something did drop in my feed, and I just want you guys to just have a quick listen to this podcast. I think it's called, let me see the name of it. It's called the Athletic FC podcast. It's by a guy called Charlie. A Claire, I think it is. I think that's his name, or Eccles. I'm not too sure. of exactly the name, but he here is really giving Arteta, you know, his flowers, you know, because at the end of the day, he feels that this guy is the one to take us to our destination. And yeah, it might not mean that us winning a cup, you know, it might be just about beating or having certain metrics that we meet up to, you know, having the best points tally, you know, beating, as I said, all the top 6 sides, not having lost against them. But when it really matters, they don't mention the teams like West Ham, Fulham, Villa, teams that we should really, Brighton, teams that we should really be turning over. Southampton, when they a couple of seasons back, when we needed to do it and we didn't do it. We didn't turn up. We didn't have the mentality to turn up. We end up coming down from 3-0 down with Theo Walcott scoring against us. Would you believe it? And I salvaged the game 3-3. And this is at the Emirates. Southampton, a team that's absolutely useless. But this is what we got to face. So listen, guys, just have a quick listen. I'm just going to play this quick extract and tell me what you make of it. And I may comment in between. So just have a quick listen.
You really can't overstate what position they were in when he arrived in 2019. I mean, it was really, really wretched. It was terrible. And I think, it's easy to forget of how far they've come in what is a relatively short space of time. I think to be in the position where they're going for titles, they're in the Champions League semi-finals and hammering Real Madrid, the champions of Europe, when at that point they were a joke, really, weren't they? I mean, they had so many sort of comedic players. They would play anyone good away from home. They'd look out of their depth. So I think, if you'd offered pretty much any, certainly supporter and probably people within the club that, fast forward 5.5 years and you'll be doing this. People can go on about trophies and whatever, and that's fine. If trophies are your absolute bottom line, go for it, enjoy it. But I would suggest there is barely an Arsenal fan who would, beating Real Madrid, beating Man City 5-1, beating Chelsea 5-0, doing the double over Spurs throughout the last 3 seasons. All of these things, they mean a lot to fans, and I don't think a League Cup for a team that's going nowhere, and Arsenal have been there. Arsenal were that team
towards the end
of the Wenger period. They were winning FA Cups. They were doing nothing in the league, nothing in the Champions League, if even in the Champions League. Arsenal have kind of lived through that, and from here on in, they're still in an incredible position by anyone's standards, but certainly relative to where they were. And so much of that is down to Arteta. I think it's his first job in management. That's still slightly beggars belief. When he came in,
Novice.
The club is basically banking on him being as good as Guardiola.
So why did he go for it?
That's kind of what they were saying. And he sort of has been. How insane is that? You really can't overstate.
Well, there you go, people.
They were in.
Just played a quick extract from this guy called Charlie. Could be Charlie Watts. It's not Charlie Watts, no. But he's talking about how Arsenal were in the doldrums. If that's the case, we were in the doldrums when Unai Emery took over from Wenger. And listen, under Wenger, guys, it was coming to that point where fans were turning on each other. It doesn't help when Wenger says that top 4 is like a trophy. We done it consecutively for X amount of years, which is incredible, based on him not having that kind of backing, because obviously going to the Emirates and all of that, there's talk that you have to pay off for the stadium, and that's, some people will say that's a myth, it was all paid off for and whatever. But at the end of the day, we go back to 2017-18 when Wenger in his last reign, or should I say, Wenger in his last reign, this is the first time we've finished out of the top 4 in, I'm sure we went something like, was it something like 17 or 18 years consecutively in there? I might be wrong, put it in the chat. My memory's not all that brilliant, but we spent a long time in that top 4. And, Wenger, in that year, we finished 6th in that year on 63 points, 12 points, 12 points off of top 4. Liverpool finished on 75 points. I think that was where the club said, right, you know, enough is enough. You know, was it something where Wenger just said, right, let me resign? Or did the club say, listen, the best thing to do is let's just come to a mutual agreement because it's looking quite bad. The fans, you know, are not turning up at the stadiums, you know, protests and all of that. And it wasn't looking very good for the club. It wasn't a good advert to see empty seats and whatnot. And, you know, the stuff that was going on social media, people blaming AFTV for the demise and all of that. And it's interesting because now AFTV have gone full circle now and literally their right-hand man, you know what I mean? So they're just pushing out the same narrative to a lot of these Gen Z people that accept mediocrity, because that's where we are now with this club. Mediocrity, you know, we're accepting, as the guy just said, you know, he said on there, look, all right then, you know, the Carabao Cup, you know, why do we want the Carabao Cup? Why do we want that? You know, we can go for better things. But he kind of then said, well, you know, we've beaten the likes of Chelsea, we've done a double over this one, we've beaten Real Madrid, we've beaten Man City, but what did it get us, guys? These are just metrics, yeah? In years to come, we ain't going to remember that because we haven't won anything. And this is what is being spewed out time and time on social media. Social media is one of the biggest factors of why fans today are thinking like this. And not only just young fans in, you know, their mid-20s and early 30s, but older fans now sucking up to this rubbish and listen to this narrative that's pushed out by Mr. Mikel Arteta, the politician. And he will continue to do it. I have a dream. That's what he said. That's what he said in the last game at home against Newcastle. I have a dream, but that dream didn't quite come through. Why? Because you ran these players into the ground. You didn't do what you was meant to do in the window. You was giving them money to go and buy. You didn't do it. Yeah, you bought defensive players. You're bringing on defensive players, and when you're meant to be trying to win a game. 2022, when you was playing that fluid football, what happened? 2023-24 season. Yeah, we fall off again. And now we're in 24-25 season. 12 points or 13 points behind Liverpool, who have literally taken it. They're at the beach now. They tied up the title a long time ago. Yeah, and you've got fans going on about, oh, our level is their ceiling and all this rubbish. Get out of here. Yeah, you're disingenuous when it comes to Liverpool winning this title. You want to blame and say, oh, they were lucky with you know, injuries and all of that. Last season, we didn't have no injuries to that level. No way did we have injuries to that level. And yet, we still didn't make it. Why don't you go back and talk about last year? So why didn't we win it last year? Because you lost against teams that are mid-table. Yeah, it's all right saying you win against teams, yeah, that are in the top 6. I don't want to hear that metric. How about a metric of lifting a Carabao Cup, lifting an FA Cup? Yeah? And then if we go further, lifting a Champions League or Premier League. We just can't do it. That is our problem. We just can't get it over the line. And you'll have fans and journalists or guys that do these podcasts, these content creators, pushing out this narrative. Yeah? Arteta is like Teflon. It doesn't stick. The blame, it's not his fault. Yeah? Yeah? He said the players needed help. So he's obviously aiming that back at the owners. Yeah? You needed to have managed this side properly and you didn't do it. Yeah? And you keep going about unprecedented injuries and the fact that if it was any other team, they would have been 15th or whatever. There you go. It's all about you, the protagonist, the narcissist. It's just all about you. And as I said, yeah, Wenger had to go because of how he dropped out of the top 4. And so Unai Emery came in May 2018, took over the club. A guy that's got pedigree in terms of his managerial experience. You know, and just let me just quickly read it. If anybody didn't know, right? Unai Emery, yeah, he was with previously, before he was sacked after 18 months, he was with Paris Saint-Germain, or PSG as we know, who he led to a league title. Yeah, you're gonna call it Farmers League and whatever. He done 3 Europa League titles in a row with Sevilla, and was appointed the Gunners boss, as I said, in May 2018 after taking over from Wenger. He was then replaced after 18 months temporary by assistant and former Arsenal midfielder Freddie Ljungberg. And Arsenal said the decision had to be taken due to the results and performance not being at the level required. What went wrong for Emery? And was it his own fault? I didn't feel that he was backed properly. You know, the club didn't back him properly. And if you go to when he took over, okay, in his first season, he finished fifth. He finished fifth. Let's just, guys, people, just remember that. He finished fifth, right, on 70 points. Obviously, Tottenham beat us to that Champions League position by 1 point. So, by 1 point. We then go to 2019-20. But he barely had the chance to, you know, he barely had the chance. Yeah, 2018-19, sorry, let's go. So 2018-19, yeah, he finished fifth on 70 points. And then obviously came back and then got sacked in the November. Okay, he got sacked in the November. And I believe at the time when he got sacked, they were in 8th place, but I think they were 4 points off the top 4. Or 8 points of the top 4. I can't remember which way around it was. Yeah, when he got sacked. All right. Mikel Arteta comes in, and he's the one that's going to change the culture and change the way, because it was a malaise, as according to a lot of fans. You know, it was toxic. You know, players were on high wages. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Ozil, all of these guys. It was bad eggs, and he needed to get them out. He needed to cleanse. We go full circle, and we got a load of players now on high wages, people. I need not say anymore, you know, put it in the comments. Are on high wages and not performing at the level that they should be performing, yeah? And for me, yeah, we have gone full circle. But going back in terms of how Mikel Arteta finished 8th twice. And when you look at the first season, the first 6 months that he was in, okay? So the first 6 months that he was in, we finished, okay, let's go to it now. 2019-20 season, we finished 8th. 10 points behind top 4, behind Chelsea. 10 points. That's worse than Unai Emery when he was sacked, being, I think, 8 points off of the top 4. That was worse. I think it was 8 points off the top 4. Or 4 points off the top 4. I can't remember which way around it. But either way, the points tally was under Mikel Arteta in his first 6 months. We then go to 2020-21 season. Again, another 8th place finish, finishing 10 points. So at this point, after 18 months, you sacked Unai Emery because the results were not good enough. And I look and I see that my man has finished 8th twice, finishing 10 points yet again, yeah, behind top 4, yeah? We then go to 2021, where we finish, not 2020, 21, 2021, 22, where we bottle top 4 and we finish 2 points behind. So people will look at that and say, yeah, progression. Obviously, in 2020, we do win that trophy, that FA Cup, which was Unai Emery's man. Aubameyang doing the business and scoring the winning goal against Chelsea. But he bins him, you know, gets him out of the club. He's a bad apple. bad influence on the club and whatever. Basically, at the end of the day, you've seen my backdrops on my streams or when I've been on other people's streams. He likes robots, mate. That's what Mikel Arteta wants. He wants robots. Yeah, people don't have any kind of character or personality. Do as you're told. Get on that pitch, run up and down. They can't really express themselves as you want. Look at Ethan Nwaneri at the moment. Footballer that really wants to express is very good on the ball, but maybe off the ball, he's not doing it. And so he obviously is getting the Mikel Arteta treatment. And this is what we have here. So we go on. And then, as you know, 22-23 season, nobody expected us to challenge for the league. We bottle an 8-point lead. Yeah, we bottled an 8-point lead and finish 5 points behind Man City. Again, losing to teams that we shouldn't be losing again. It's all right talking about in the last how many years that we've beaten all the top 6 sides. Not good enough. Not good enough. Right? Not good enough. And then 23-24 season, again, we finished 2 points behind them. So, yes, people are going to look at that and say progression. But I don't want progression FC Cups. I want to win the title. I want to win some sort of silverware. And we have not done that. Yeah, Mikel Arteta, you come out and said, oh, let me correct you. We won 2 plates as well. Get out of here, man. Stop this rubbish. Yeah? Stop this rubbish. Right? And now we come to current, where we, again, are falling off big time, people. We've fallen off big time. It's okay to say, oh, it's good that we've beaten Real Madrid and we've beaten this team 5-0, done a double over Chelsea, beaten Tottenham, done this, done that. But when it comes down to it, do you see anything? Do you go in the trophy cabinet and say, right, what happened in 2022? Do you see any trophies? Nope. We then go and look in, we probably won a plate. So what? We then go and look in the 23-24 season. No trophies. 24-25 season. We had a chance to win a Carabao Cup at least. Give us that winning mentality. Did we do it? No. We didn't beat Newcastle. We could not beat Newcastle over three times we've met with them, having 1 shot on target against them. Obviously, we beat them this season, but who cares? Newcastle have a cup, so therefore they're successful. You got Crystal Palace, they're successful. Yeah, they're successful. What's going on, people, man? Seriously, what is going on? We cannot be listening to these people on these podcasts that are chucking out these kinds of narrative. Can't. We just cannot. And, you know, I can't remember who sent out. There was a list that was sent out in regards to how many cups or how many people have won cups in the space of Mikel Arteta, the last time winning a cup in 2020. If I could find out, somebody sent it and I can't remember who sent it. I'm trying to find it on my phone. I don't know if it's on my phone. Let me just quickly look and see if I can find it. I might not. But it's ridiculous that in the 5-6 years that we've been here, 1 cup, and you've got all these other teams winning X amount of cups. I can't find it at the moment. You know what I mean? I want to exactly give you the exact figures of what these cups are. Let me just quickly go on another chat here. It might have been posted there. Let's have a look. Can I see it? It will probably be on... No, I can't see it. I cannot see it. Let's go to this one just quickly. Let's have one quick butcher's here. If I can't see it, then... But you get the gist, yeah? There's... Oh, here we are. We found it. I found it, guys. Sorry. I found it. So, let me just leave you with this. Food for thought. So, since Mikel Arteta, in his era, where he won the FA Cup in the 1920 season. Man City have won 10 trophies and have been in 9 finals. Liverpool, 6 trophies, 6 finals. Chelsea, 3 trophies, 9 finals. Man United, 2 trophies, 5 finals. Newcastle, 1 trophy, 2 finals. Arsenal, 1 trophy, 1 final. Leicester, 1 trophy, 1 final. West Ham, 1 trophy, 1 final. And Crystal Palace, 1 trophy, 1 final. Spurs, 2 finals. And Aston Villa, 1 final. This is the great club that we support. But we're more interested in stupid metrics of points tally in a year, beating a top 6 side, and really, if would you looking at cups, as the guy said, does it really matter? It's really just about enjoying the experience. This is the stuff that you will find when you go into the Arteta matrix and listen to these guys spurting out this rubbish. And they will continue to do it. They will continue to do it. They're not going to stop, because they love this guy off. They suck this guy off. It's simple. It's literally this guy, they suck up to him. That's the way it is, right? And it's just a shame that fans are falling into this, whatever it is he's got over them. I don't know what it is he's got over them, but do you say anything to them? They're on you. They're absolutely on you. Listen, guys, we the negative gooners, or the negative fans, the negative fans that want standards for our clubs and want to lift trophies, they will say, what you moaning about? What you moaning about? Who you going to get? If Mikel Arteta goes, who are you going to get? I'll tell you who I'll take, mate. Inzaghi. 5.6 million. 5.6 million. Enrique, 9.6 million. You combine the two, that's 15.2 million. My man has been rewarded. Mikel Arteta has been rewarded with 15.6 million for failure. Listen, we're going into a new season. The season is done. We're going into a new season, right? We're going into a new season. Big Bertha guy, you got to do your thing. You got to do your thing. You can see that, the dynamics between him and Mikel Arteta. You can see I feel there's some kind of tension. Do you know what I mean? And, when asked in his post-match, he just said, well, unfortunately, it's out of our hands. What are you saying it's unfortunate for? These guys are the ones that are going to go and do the business. It's as simple as that. So why are you bringing unfortunately? So you're creating this chasm, this gap, and saying, well, it's down to them. If they don't pull it off, then it's nothing to do with me. It's down to them. Well, when Edu was there, you was all pally and everything and whatever. I'm not seeing these two guys kind of really interact, really. So the summer is going to be interesting, guys. We're linked with so many players. Will we get it over the line? Who knows? But I'll tell you one thing, though. Wednesday is coming, guys. And it ain't going to be nice. Because if Spurs win that Europa League, as somebody said, they are going to overshadow 131 plus years of our history in terms of a European campaign. If they win the Europa Cup, they will supersede that and go and probably go and win a Super Cup as well, the Europa Cup and the Super Cup. Man United, if they go and do it, the chances are that it makes their chances of getting Victor, because he's going to be looking at options, a bit more palatable. So I want Man United to win. I'm not going to lie, because I can't take the Spurs fans giving it. Can you imagine them on their trophy parade? But we're just happy to beat this side how many times, beat that side how many times, but we have nothing to show for it. Yes, Man United and Tottenham might have been the worst in terms of out the top 6 and finishing where they are. But at the end of the day, they're both in the final and we're not. I've read you the stats. So, guys, it is what it is. Please, guys, hit the like button, subscribe and share if you're new, and I'll see you on the next Matrix Convo. Take care and God bless.